Okay, Magic Makers. Today we have an awesome lady. She is a Flagstaff transplant from New York. So we totally vibed within the first 30 seconds of our conversation. And Miss Jenn Edden is Edden. I asked that and I just said it. Edden. Just Jenn Edden is from creator of the Sugar Freedom Method. And I love her philosophy because you know how I am. I am not about this like ban everything. So she is here to talk about how we can coexist with sugar. Well, let's use the word coexist with sugar. So there's not this like, I can't have, because let's be honest, are you never going to have cake on your birthday? Never have cake on your kid's birthday? Never have an ice cream cone on an 85-degree day at the beach? Like, that's just not how life is about to live. And so when we have this conversation with Jenn, she's just going to unpack her 5 ways of how we can really blend sugar into our life and it not be the thing that is our sugar monster, the thing that overtakes us. So please welcome Miss Jenn to the show.
I love that. Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
Coexist.
Yeah.
I am game on that.
Yeah, because it's like, at first I was like, oh, sugar freedom. I'm like, never sugar? And, you're like, no, it's just so that sugar isn't overtaking your life. And I was like, boom, I love it.
Freedom to choose. Freedom to choose. But I also want to just add, I'm a health coach for 20 years now, mom to 3, and recovering sugar addict for probably 2 decades. So for anyone listening, like, I don't know if I could ever control it. Yes, you can. You didn't get where you are overnight. So You're not going to get where you want to go overnight. So don't you dare think that the tips I'm teaching today, that's why I do have this. I love it. Registered, trademarked. I pitched Oprah. I've got certified coaches. It's no joke. The little baby works. And people go, how do you? Well, because it saved my life from, and I know those listening who have this craving thing too. Like, I was in college and I would have to have the frosting when I got home from studying, like just, a few hits. And then there's never 1 bowl of cereal. It's like 4 bowls of Lucky Charms.
Right, exactly.
Even if my mouth is getting cut up from Captain Crunch, I'm like, 1 more bowl. And I know we're the same age range. I love it. And so there's hope. It's biological, it's biochemistry in the body as well as emotional. So don't let anyone just say, go see a therapist, you have issues, or, just take it out forever. You'll be fine. It's both. And if you don't heal the body, which is what we teach in the Sugar Freedom Method, while handling the emotional triggers that make us want to go to this for comfort, you will never, repeat after me, never get it under control. Yeah. It's many things together.
Oh, 1,000%. And so for you, you came up with, you talked about, college and so forth. What made you say to yourself, this is a problem?
Great question. I was working for the juvenile diabetes. I'm almost 50 now. Yeah. I don't know if anyone can ever see us.
I was working for diabetes.
I was working. Don't even get me started. I love JDRF. I did that for 6 years. It was before I became a health coach and got married. But I was like, well, this is interesting. And by the way, juvenile diabetes, type 1, a little different, but not really. You still got to watch your sugars.
Right.
But point being, all these diet sodas, I had all this addiction myself. They're serving the diet stuff. I worked for the president. So we'd be at all these board meetings and we would have, all the sweets. And it was so stressful. I love them all. It was so stressful being in these meetings that my colleagues, so sweet, would leave me my favorite black and white cookie on my desk once a month.
Black and white cookie.
Now, I am a survivor of an almost ulcer. I have addiction in my family, bipolar, my mother and father, I've seen them on and off, antidepressants, mostly on them, in and out of psychiatric ward. I mean, I can go on all day with where the method saved my life, but I knew I had a problem when I had a near ulcer, belly pain, sweating, not feeling good. And I knew it was, I'd eat the cookie and it would hurt, but I couldn't stop eating the cookie. So if you know something is hurting you and you cannot stop it, just 1 bite, and then it's the whole black and white. Because who eats half a cookie?
Right.
So I was like, I've got a problem.
Gotcha.
And then if you want to know, I survived Kim doesn't know all this about me, a near-death gas explosion while working at that company. I was just married and God intervened and he said, now what are you going to do with your life?
Wow.
And I was like, all right, I'm fixing this in myself. How about I get certified? I'm 20 years certified as a holistic health coach. And why don't you just go share this with the world? And so, if God gets your attention for those who believe what I do.
Right.
In any way possible. And I'm like, you got my attention. What do you need me to do? And I have been doing this work for 20 years. The anniversary of the house blowing up is 20 years.
Oh, wow.
This past January. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, I guess when God
you didn't know.
When God wants your attention.
I'm stubborn. It took the house blowing up and burning down everything we own to be like, okay, my world is quiet now. What would you like me to do?
Right.
And so here I am 20 years later, helping these women and really thankful every day.
And it's funny because there's been several guests on my show who have, you know, just like you've had this kind of, you know, moment. And one woman said this to me a few years ago that I just like, it just stuck with me, and it probably will stick with you too, that she said, you know, when she was at the throes of her, she was an overtrainer, and her throws for overtraining, she went to get a massage, and her massage therapist is like, oh, good God, like all these vibes are coming off your body. And she's like, you got a lot of stuff going on here. And she's like, how do you know? And she's like, your body has been screaming at you for decades, huh? And she was just like, whoa, like it just like, she goes, that was my moment. She was like, that this woman who didn't even know me was just giving me a massage. Just like felt all this stuff coming out of my body, and was just like, your body has been talking to you for years and you haven't been listening.
God bless. Same thing with addiction. It doesn't come overnight. The belly fat, the not sleeping, the adrenal shot, that I get migraines now, right? Like I hear all of this stuff. The belly fat to me is just a symptom. Oh my God, it's gotten worse with the wine. So it didn't just happen overnight. Oh, I had to have, you know, my kidney failure. I see everything, organs removed.
Right. And I feel like, you know, you see it in your work. I see it in my, it's so sad that I know we all have to get to that point where like something like just a huge boulder has to fall in front of our path.
You just have enough.
For us to be like, okay, I can't put it off till tomorrow, or to when the kids get quiet, or till, you know, after vacation, blah, 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 all the things we tell ourselves, that finally that boulder is like, girlfriend, right fucking now.
That's when we take them.
Yeah.
Do not come see us before that.
Yeah.
Because I always say, if you're still, can I use the analogy? Because I love it.
Sure, for it. Bring it on.
And this is why I love talking to you, and B, but what you're saying makes so much sense. So I use the pool analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like you jump in the pool, you're kind of doggy paddling, but you jump in lightly and it's like up. So you sink a little, but you can come back up. But you know, if you do one of those cannonballs, you can almost cannonball, or like those knife things we do as kids in the pools in Brooklyn, you go right to the bottom. And what happens when you get to the bottom? Well, momentum brings you right back up. But if you kind of jump in the pool, you're gasping for air to get to the top. So I always say, jump in 2 feet, hit the bottom, because you're coming back up real fast. Right. And it's the same thing you're talking about. So be done, be at the bottom of the pool, not drowning, bottom of the pool, and we will help you shoot right back up. Right. But if you're still like, I'm treading water, I'm going down, I'm bobbing, I'm not interested. It's too much energy. And you're not going to get what you need. And I'm all about results. Like, let's get it done. You're right. And you're right. Because like, if I do kind of like, you know, wade into the pool, I can always look back and see the edge of the pool. And so like, as soon as it starts to get a little uncomfortable, I'm going to swim right back. Yes, that's well said. Agreed. Yeah. So have enough. I always say, why now? My question is always, when women see me, why now? Why now? Yeah. Because excuses will always be bigger than what we want. Yeah. If what we want is not bigger than our excuses. Right. I'm not an excuse girl, so. Yeah, I'm a tough love kind of person. And I always say to people, like, you know, they're like, oh, well, you know, it's not the right time. Well, when is going to be the right time? Because if you can't navigate tough times, like tough times will always push you out of the game. I don't know. Besides, I want you during tough times. And that's when it's the hardest. And don't you want to coach when it's hard? I don't want you when it's easy. You bore me. That's what I always tell people. I was like, yeah, like you're going to have great weeks. Like everyone has a great week. And then everyone has a shit week. And it's the shit week that teaches you who you are. That's a true New Yorker right there. Yeah. That's right. And that's, for me, the work we do is all about permanency.
Yeah.
So figuring out how to have sugar under your control when the in-laws come over, for those who have tricky
Right.
in-laws, or when you're having a
Exactly.
really busy travel week.
Right.
Because that is the hardest to navigate when you're not in your own little cocoon, your own little
Mhm.
box, hanging out with yourself. As
Yeah.
soon as it's other people, other energy, stress, client this, death in the family, I've seen it all in 20 years.
Mhm.
Well, that's when we want you, because I got to help you get past that and heal the body while you're stressed out. Because if one person comes to us and says, oh, I've done all these things, I spent tens of thousands of dollars and I did so good until.
Right. Uh-huh.
I'm not into the until. The sugar freedom
Right.
method is a lifestyle change. It's permanency in your mindset. I go all day on this, but
You're right.
yeah.
I love that. And you're right. You're because everyone has their parameters. Like if everything lines up, you're great. And then that until happens, and it's, your mother-in-law who, like, every time she comes over, your house isn't clean enough, or your kids aren't this enough, or you aren't this enough. And then all of a sudden you're sneaking into the closet, and it could be sugar, it could be any other
Wine,
thing.
alcohol, drugs, whatever
Right. It
gives
could
you a
be
hit.
anything to
Whatever
be
gives you a
like,
hit.
I just need to get away from this woman.
Yeah, and it's a real physical reaction. It's a dopamine hit, something in the
Right.
receptor of the brain that gives you a I'm safe. You get a little high from it. I mean, sugar is a socially acceptable drug.
Oh, it is.
100%. So we teach you how to get dopamine hits in other ways.
Yeah.
And how to break that habit, because sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Do the research. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's not your fault for anyone listening. It's not your fault. If you're like, I tell myself every day, I'm so successful. I tell myself every day, I'm going to do better tomorrow. And then 3 o'clock
Right.
comes and your hand is in the chips. You're having a glass of wine at 5 o'clock. There's no judgment. You just have to know the tips, tools, and strategies and rewiring of the brain. And I mean, we guarantee results in our 6-month method. It's an investment in the thousands, but we get that handled. It's like your best vacation ever. Handled.
And I love how you said it's 6 months, right? Because we've been, conditioned
6 months.
that 30 days to this, 12 weeks to that. And I remember when I first started, when I first started coaching, I was like, my program's 6 months. And I remember the coach at the time I had, she was like, 6 months. And I was like, yeah. I was like, it takes you about 12 weeks to just start to like feel like you got something, you got a kind of sort of figured out.
Correct.
And then the next 12 weeks, I want to burn that. I want to burn it in so that it's not this, until moment happens. I want to have 6 months of your life so that like throughout those 6 months, something's going to happen. You're going to go on vacation. You are going to have
expect it. I expect it. I say, you're not getting off it. You're going to crash and burn.
Right.
But you're not alone crashing. How many times I've crashed and burned? People say, where did the method come from? I'm like, well, when everyone else quits, I went the millionth and one time and I wrote it down. And so here's the method. And I've hired everyone under the sun to help with IBS, hemorrhoids, gastritis, migraines, everything. I've had so many things. My daughter, leaky gut, I've seen. And so I've hired and I'm like, oh, that didn't work. That worked. Well, that was a half of a something. Well, you're still drinking your own Diet Coke, doc, you're fired. And so yes, decades, right?
Yeah.
Decades.
And it's, and I love what you just said. I tried 1,000,001 time because, we're always 3 feet from success. And
I love that. Or Tony Robbins says 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
You're not feeling good today? Look up 1 millimeter.
Right.
You can't be depressed.
Yeah.
1 millimeter.
Well, and I, whenever, and it's so funny. I just flashed back to when I went to go, what I did, I went to Unleash the Power Within, and it just like flashed back to the whole story he tells about that 1 millimeter. Actually, I'm gonna write
I was there for that.
All right, I'm going to write myself a note because I'm sure somewhere on YouTube, someone put a clip of the 1 millimeter. So I'm going to put the 1 millimeter up there because it's
just 1 millimeter. You just shift your gaze 1 millimeter up and it changes your whole, everything about how you feel about yourself. You can't be depressed, actually, if you look up. I wish my parents knew that growing up. You can't actually feel depressed looking up. We tend to look down when we feel sad. I'm like, look up, teach my kids. Up, where you going? We're going up. Feel what you need to feel. But we're going up today. And so I'm tough
and
love mother.
Yeah. I know. I think that's the New York way. Like you're like, there's none of this. Like I'm gonna go talk to your teacher. Like my mom's like, well, what'd you do? Whenever I would come home from school and I'd be like, Mrs. So and so, blah blah blah, and she'd be like, well, what'd you do? And then she's like, well, then what'd you do about it? And so it would be like this, you know, back then you didn't realize it was empowerment. You just thought she was just not,
Caring.
caring.
I
Yeah.
know. Thank God we got past that. I know.
Yeah.
And now we care so much. We're
Yeah.
giving out medals to kids just for participating. My kids know we don't get participation medals. We actually would get a medal if we earned it from working while everybody else stops working.
Right.
And Michael Jordan kept working.
Right.
That's and shooting free throws.
Right.
While everyone else had left the court. And that's how you win. I'm golden.
And do you think Michael Jordan's dad called the coach and said, how come you're not playing my friend?
My kid enough.
My kid
because
enough.
He didn't earn it.
Right. And if he came home, I'm sure Michael Jordan's dad would have been like, well, you better get your ass out there and keep practicing. So
Welcome to the Kim and Jenn show. 100.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with sugar though. And I just want to say, since I am here to support your guest that way, it's not your fault. Mm-hmm. It's not your fault. It is a drug. And when I got that, it's a socially acceptable, legalized drug. That is why, unless you have, it's an anti-addiction, anti-inflammation protocol. It's real. We work on your sleep and we could talk about it in your gut and finding better versions of foods for now to upgrade because chemicals cause cravings and women just don't know. I mean, I could name every 80s commercial.
Oh God.
I mean, I'm a product of the 80s and it was like, the Snickers bars. It's literally like have a craving, eat a Snickers. So,
oh God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, actually you have a craving. Let's figure out where the craving came from and make it go away. Yeah. Let's not perpetuate the cycle of addiction, but hey, God bless Snickers.
Right. And, the one thing that I've been reading a lot about is that, if we have any other addiction, so say we have, we're an alcoholic, we are a heroin addict, whatever.
Shopping.
We can remove that. I can remove
100%.
I can remove alcohol. I can remove heroin, but
100%.
Like sugar. And if I'm addicted to food,
you cannot. It's in everything.
It's in everything. And it just like, it's that thing where you're just like, no matter, I can't, like, you're like, I'm tripping.
You can't avoid it. You actually need to eat.
Right.
And I need to eat. Just eating, and you can't get off the packaged food. So thank you for that analogy.
And that, for those people who feel like I can't get rid of it. And I get it because it's like, I remember I was buying chicken broth and my favorite brand of chicken broth, I just happened to look at the, they changed the packaging. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So then it made me look at the ingredients. And one of the ingredients was sugar. And I was like, it's chicken broth. Chicken broth isn't meant to be sweet.
It is if they want to sell more off the shelf.
Yeah. But I was like, chicken broth isn't meant to be sweet. Like chicken's not sweet. And so, so when people are like, I get it. Like it's
in hummus, it's in ketchup, it's in mustard.
Right. You have to be more vigilant. And in the beginning, it just feels like you're climbing uphill. But eventually you will get there. And I feel like so many of us, I think it's this participation trophy thing. I feel that so many of us don't want that effort, right? We want the effortless, but we don't want the steps it takes to get to effortless.
And is it fair? I would like to just say for the women who come see us, they want the hacks and the tools and what you're talking about. And yes, I don't mind being impatient. #me too. And what I find is when they talk to us or talk to me, because no one joins us without talking to me first, when it makes sense that the time and the energy module 2, clarify it. And I take you food shopping in your online portal and you start to understand all the upgrades and there's over 100 names for sugar and all the chemicals that mimic sugar. Women want to do it only because they see the finish line. They're not guessing. See, if I'm guessing, I don't want to put in the effort, but if you tell me I'm going to put in the effort and I'm going to get nice biceps or I'm going to shrink my belly all day long, let's go. So I also think women have been duped for so long that they're like, well, if nothing works when I put it in, how about I don't put in effort and just hurry up? And so we're sold a bag of goods in this country. We're just sold a bag of goods, buy this, cream that. Just have a 7-day smoothie thing, 21-day challenge at the gym. And they're like, oh, I still have belly fat, and oh, I'm still not sleeping, and oh, my joints still hurt. And oh, I did the whole 30. I'll use those words for 30 days. I felt great. I hear this all the time. I don't know why I went back. Well, because you didn't fix anything in the body. So for 30 days, you deprived yourself. The body went, oh, I feel better. And then you had 0 tools and you put it all back in, which made you worse than you were before, because you freaked the body out with nothing and then everything. It's got to be what we call, I should definitely trademark this, the gray area. I hang out in the gray area. You're not on a diet and you're not going to hell with yourself. You are in the sugar freedom method. I mean, I don't know, people will be able to see us, but 3 kids, almost 50. Like, I look and feel great because I'm always anti-inflammation, mind, body, and spirit, without being obsessed. And I ain't going to a birthday party or having one of my kids' parties and not trying something that someone made. It's just how to unhook after it gets you. It's a true story. How to unhook after it's in your system. So you're not like, oh no, I need it tomorrow and I'm going to eat it. And then it keeps inflaming your body. We see it all the time, and re-inflaming. And so my whole claim to fame is we teach you how to unhook. Yeah. And I love the unhooking because I think unhooking is like partially food, but partially all of the judgments that we, without anybody else, we put on ourselves. Oh, I'm horrible because I couldn't. Yeah, here I go again. I'm horrible because I couldn't stop at 3 bites. I'm horrible because I ate it. Or all the tap dance before, you're like, am I going to have it? Am I not going to have it? Like my willpower, my motivation. And it's just like, just have the fucking 3 bites. Like no one's going to die. Have the bites. And if it sucks, know how to get off stuff. Know how to get off if you're highly addicted, and then it's a light switch, and then you binge for 3 more days. There are some people that I respect that, but I'm with you. And I just said, because I think about like how many brain cells have we burnt out thinking about what I coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't do, versus just have the cake. 3, 2, 1, go. I don't know what that technique is. It's not mine. Someone brilliant. 3, 2, 1, go. Green light? No, I think it's Mel Robbins. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Is it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go? Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You want to make that phone call for your business? Yeah. You want to do something? I love that I found Kim for this pot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You actually have no time to think. Yeah. Sometimes I could think a little more, but my kids are like, Mom, you could have thought about that more. I'm like, yeah, but of the one mistake out of 100, dude, I will totally 99 times 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and screw up the one. I have urgency to my life. So I agree. There are plenty of things. I jump in with both feet, and sometimes I land well. Sometimes I'm like, oh, all right, I could have stuck that a little better. But I feel like it. I think all of us get to that point where yes. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I don't really have that much time to waste. So let's just try it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I tried a different way. Teach the kids this, right? So if it doesn't work out, you just learn something. Yeah. Failure is just, what did you learn? Yeah. What did you learn? Always learn to go fail more. You bore me if you're winning all the time, because winners aren't winners until they failed enough to be a winner. You don't wake up a winner. You failed more times than. The reason I do what I do, I got a company of 5, and oh my God, we're launching something so fun. And the next 2, it's a membership, super amazing and afford. Oh yeah, I'm giddy. But I bring it up because, well, I just failed a boatload of times in 20 years. Oh God, yeah. And like, here we are. Yeah. And what I liked, one of the in your 5 steps for your sugar freedom method. Talk about it. Yep. What I really like is, for the first step is for you to visualize. And I don't think many people stop and ask themselves, what do I want? It's this vision of themselves maybe 20 years ago before kids. It's their vision of themselves in high school, their vision that someone tells them what they should be, but no one ever stops and thinks about, okay, what does Jen want? It's a vision board. It's what do you really want? Do you even really want? 50 pounds that you keep chasing for decades after the
right.
kid. You want to just wake up and feel great
Right.
and have your clothes fit. And that could be 25 because our
Right.
bodies change. I'm not attached to a number on a scale. No one weighs or counts calories or macro this, or God help us, food prepping, gag me.
You're right.
No, but you got to know what you're grabbing, and it is visualize it. I love that you know my steps.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're shooting for, and then we help you get there.
Exactly. And then the clarification, I love this part because the one thing I always tell, I challenge the clients. I was like, you set squishy goals. When you tell me you want to be toned, what is toned? I don't understand that. Like, I want to know, like, if you were to get on a bus, you would say, this is the destination I'm going to. This clarification is your destination. And so when you're squishy, you're going to get squishy goals.
I love that. And the clarify it, well, I feel like your clarify it is, how we visualize. It's that people don't know what's in stuff. Sugar has over 100 names.
Yeah.
And this stevia and sucralose is just a no, by the way, for everyone. All these artificials. But then there's this honey and there's maple syrup. And oh my God, what is the citric acid? And what are natural flavors?
Right.
And what is this sodium chloride, this? And what are all these gums? And then what is dextrose? I mean, it's confusing. And some women have food sensitivities to some of those things and some don't. So they say, oh, well, I've taken sugar out. I don't eat cookies and cake, but man, I have wicked cravings every day. I said, well, look at what else is going on.
Right.
What else are you consuming? What's in your water? None of those little flavored drinks.
Oh,
ladies.
yeah.
I ain't judging you. I'm just saying you'll never lose belly fat and you will never not have cravings. Putting flavored crap in your water. Go squeeze a lemon in, go squeeze a lime, go squeeze an orange in there. I don't care what you cannot be doing that. That stuff is chemicals and it lodges in your hips, butt, and thighs. As a woman I got my little J-Lo bubble. So I know when it goes on, that's where it goes on. So you just got to, these are just, so clarify it 100%. You just got to know it's not one thing. It's
and you're right. I know for me, one of my biggest eye-opening aha moments was just all of, not just the chemicals in food. I was like very aware of that, but just all of the other chemicals that we take in through other things, through deodorant, through beauty products, hair products.
Thank you for that. Through your shampoo, through what do you wash your clothes with? What do you wash your bathroom with?
Right. That was just such a eye opener for me because I just remember I was like such in a struggle, and my doctor's like, okay, he's like, this isn't an overnight thing, which I like him saying that to me was what I needed to like start to anchor me down from all of these like chasing to be like, okay, he's like, you're probably not going to clean out all this stuff overnight, but he's like, the next time you need to buy a new whatever
this year,
buy something, that isn't a chemically based.
And can I just say, for women who hear us talking and they're like, oh, God, how do I change my life? First of all, step one, take a deep breath.
Right.
And then step two, buy things without fragrances.
Yes.
So you could even just start there.
Yeah.
I love my perfume. I love it. But I always spray it on my clothes. That's one thing I love. I don't really need deodorant because I just don't. Deodorant is needed. I know I don't have to get into it today, but it's high cortisol. I have a smell sometimes. It's because I'm stressed out, and cortisol has a smell to it. And then, eating a lot of processed stuff will make you smell, but otherwise I don't have a scent to me.
Right.
And so I don't have to wear it. But if you do, it's just no fragrance for stuff.
Yeah.
Just start there. No fragrance. And can I just add quick? If it's on TV, don't buy it.
I know.
So if it's on TV, don't buy it. And no fragrances. Yes.
Yeah. And I feel slowly the bigger brands are starting to realize that consumers aren't looking for the, all the chemical names in their products. We've started to lift our heads up from the, I just see that celebrity X is using it, or you have a great jingle and I should buy it.
Amen.
So that was like such an eye opener for me. And for some people, just those little things could be a game changer for you.
It does. That helps with eczema. That helps with allergies.
Oh God, yeah.
Come with that sinus stuff. Okay. Sinus is also related to dairy and other things, but it's also the chemicals. And so
Right.
change your sheets and okay. You
Yeah.
could do this all day. I love it.
I know. I have a whole episode where I talked to a woman who she was this is a quick aside, but you'll have to listen to the episode for those of you listening. She went to France. Do you remember when Notre Dame caught on fire? Like this was probably like 5 or 6 years ago. She went to
Oh,
she went to
wow.
so she went to France, and she was there like that week that it was still burning. And she came home and she was just like, I was just a hot mess. Never really connected it. Lead. All that, Notre Dame was built in the 1700s, and everything was burning. All lead was being released into the air.
Oh, wow.
So on like, and she's a doctor, and she goes, I was like struggling, and then I was like, and then she's like, one of my colleagues was talking to me. He's like, well, have you ever done a chemical test on yourself? And she's like, done every other damn test. I might as well do that. Lead was off the charts. And then she started like, this was like after a couple of years of having all these health issues, and she's like, what the hell? And she like traced it back. She's like, holy crap, it was from my trip to France.
Wow.
So there's, you don't have to be physically going to Notre Dame during when it was caught on fire, but just these little things like add up over time.
Yes. Amen.
So then you talk about like tuning it in.
Yeah, that's module 3 of the 5 steps. Tuning in. That's understanding yourself. Doctors are not right. Tuning in. So that's very empowering. You understand yourself. A lot of disconnect between what's going on in the world, what's going on in our bodies, what's going on. We always know the answer. I always say, I am not the sage on the stage. I am the guide on the side. And my team and I, okay? You know what's best. If I tell you, I'm just going to make it up, you need some extra good fats, not sleeping well, it does help to have good fats and some magnesium and other stuff. But you're like, avocados don't make me feel good. I'm like, well, then you don't need an avocado.
Right.
It's very simple. Just because we said that that's a good fat, if it does not feel good, you don't do it. And there's energy vampires and narcissism. And so we teach how to understand that, how to protect from it, but how to understand. You go into a board meeting and there's negative people and you're feeling stressed out, but you've eaten well. And you're like, I gotta have something tonight. Well, it's because you've absorbed something in the room. And we just talked to you about protection and taking care of your energy.
Yeah.
That you're not snacking and doing things.
And I love that, because it's like that tune in part, that tune in part.
Everything.
It's everything, because so many women, I'm like, yeah, sure, I can give you a good food list, a bad food list. I can give you a freaking menu all night long. But everything you just described, like if I don't realize what triggers me to eat, then I'm never going to solve my problem. If I don't, right. And if I don't figure out that when I go into this meeting, the energy that's around me, if I don't come in with my suit of armor to fight off all of the
and to just add to that, boundaries is a big thing we teach in module 3. Okay, boundaries. I love my mother. Mom, if you're listening, I do love you, but I have a lot of narcissism in my family, which is people make it about themselves. Yeah. And that's okay. But everyone who comes to see us are highly sensitive the way I am. I mean, highly sensitive to our environment. We have to honor our sensitivities. It doesn't mean we walk around, I don't want to go anywhere. No, but I got to honor it. If I need a fucking break, I'm going to take a break from my mother. I call you now more, Mom, love you. But like I just needed a break. It was just very draining. And some people can drain it is because we don't say no and we're going to that party anyway because we feel guilty. Don't go to the party. Don't drink the wine to get yourself buzzed because you can't stand the people you're with. Don't go to the party and then you won't need the wine. If I got to go to a party and be drunk or have a buzz, I'm at the wrong party. I don't really drink anyway. I do occasion my little tequila. Boundaries. And we do not learn those growing up, especially if your parents did not have them the way mine didn't. So we teach it, module 3.
I mean, I feel that this whole boundary part is the root of many people's issues with everything. I don't work out because I got to be there for my kids. I can't put them in daycare. I have to make this big meal. I have to eat everything on my plate. I have to. And we've been programmed, especially as women, to be people pleasers, right?
Should. I always say, stop shitting on yourself.
Yeah.
We don't should in my
You can't hurt
house.
anyone's feelings because I didn't eat whatever their signature dish is. Like,
I love that.
Even if you're like, I can't fucking stand this, but I gotta eat it.
I teach that.
Yeah.
We are not responsible for other people's feelings.
Yes.
We are not responsible whether we offend someone. However, I do tone down my energy about 30 notches when I see most of my family, because I'm a lot for people.
Right.
So I am responsible for how I show up, but damn it, I don't fucking like what's coming out of my mouth, or I'm too positive for you. Then go look at your life.
Yeah.
Because my daughter just said that she's 10. She's going to a party and her gift didn't arrive yet to give to her best friend. And I said, well, we'll just give it to her, after the sleepover. She said, I can't show up with nothing. The girls that are going don't like me. And I was like, oh, we're going to have fun with this one, aren't we, Sydney? Right. We had a full conversation this morning about it. I said, let's talk about how life gets so much better when you learn. It's so cute at 10, right? Right. You learn to not care what others think about you. I said, most people don't like mommy. It's okay. Mommy has her dear friends. Mm-hmm. And just not everyone's going to like us. And I said, by the way, did they tell you they don't like you? And that's the magic. Yeah. No. I said, great. Well, then stop making it up. Yeah. That's the stuff we make up.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh,
I was like, don't make it up.
Until someone says, I do not like you. You
and
don't
even
know.
Then.
Right. And even then you're like, I don't like you either.
Wow. You got a lot of issues, man.
Right. Or,
it's still not about me.
Right. Or you're like, why not? And like, they don't really, some people don't even have an answer.
There's something in them they just don't want to see that you possess. And that's okay. I respect that. I'm good. Exactly. I'm good. Almost 50. I'm good.
Yeah, I can live. I can live. And I really think that part, right, that tune in part is probably can last the 6 months. That could be its own.
I love it. It's weaved into everything. Oh, I had cravings. We had cravings because your boss told you to work 3 more meetings when yesterday he knew you had to leave early, or you're the boss and you let, your employees come in and do things and you didn't say, oh, and that's why you missed dinner. And so you were drinking wine instead. And so we weave it, right? It's always, where did it come from? Yeah. So it's weaved, but it could be its own program. It's truth.
Right. It's because I for a lot of my women, that's the root cause. I was like, all right, we need to start figuring out how you can have at least 15 minutes of you time, like 15 minutes. Let's start there, because then you'll get addicted to having some downtime. So yeah, I love that, for many people coming in, we've, most of the women I work with, and I'm sure many of the women you work with, like we felt like we've been there, done that, got the smelly shaker bottles from every umpteen program that we've ever worked. And so I love that, like, people can sit here and read through your steps and be like, oh, that's how it's different. Because I feel like I see the same thing over. It's that, like, we talked about the whole 30, or we talked about the hard 70.
I don't want to know about it. It's so not about the food. We teach you the food.
Right. Or the hard 75, that, like, I have to have this, like,
love that hard really 75
challenge. Yes. I have to climb Everest in order to deserve my results.
Great. I would love to add to that. So my coin phrase is, it's simple, fun, and easy. If talking to me or to my team or reading my stuff and you don't feel lighter, we don't want a dime. This has to feel simple, fun, and easy. We do enough things during the day that we don't enjoy.
Right.
Although I don't. I give it away, sell it, cut it off, fire it. I mean, I just don't. Because as a recovering addict, I mean, it's just too easy to go to stuff. So I have to have as much pleasure within reason in my life. I enjoy my work. I love meeting you, but it's simple, fun, and easy. So many of my colleagues are like, you got to do the hard 75. I said, tell me the name again. I made them say it 5 times. Hard 75. Hard. I said, what was that first word? They said hard. I said, you know what I do for a living.
Right. I'm out.
I said, simple, fun, and easy. Do you think I, as the founder of the Sugar Freedom Method, would ever do anything with the first word hard? They're like, oh, I forgot. Okay, no problem. Just don't do it again. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I get the concept. It's just Mother Teresa would never go to an anti-war rally. Right. She went to a peace rally for a reason, because the name sets you up. Sugar Freedom Method. I'm all about freedom in your life, freedom from your finances, freedom from negativity, freedom from body pain and aches, freedom from cancer, freedom from sugar addiction, freedom from yourself.
Right.
The jail cell you live in, all the crap you tell yourself every day while you're smiling on the outside.
Right.
I'm not interested.
And
it's
funny because, like, you know, when her team first approached her to be on the show, it's like, oh, is she gonna be one of those like no sugar, you know, holding like a flag. But as we've talked here, and I'm hoping that you're drawing the same conclusions that I am, is that many of us turn to sugar to deal with life. We turn to it to tune out instead of tuning in. And so I'm hoping that many of you that's your takeaway here, that sugar, you know, as I kicked off the show, coexistence, right? There has to be coexistence because sugar you need it. Like, come on, let's be honest. Like, are you not going to have cake on your kid's birthday? You're not going to have cake on your own personal birthday, but it's that next step.
We get you a better version. Cane sugar is poison for my body. It's a true story.
Right.
So if I do have it, my daughter made cupcakes for the first time for the Super Bowl. I said, I will absolutely, I have to try them.
Right.
And I had some and I was done. She made it. They made a unicorn cake. They're so cute, the kids. But then I haven't had it since. It's a true story.
No, and that is a perfect example. Like, you're like, my kid made
it's made with love. I had to try it.
I can't model to her. You have to be afraid of food.
No, and I just want to add for those some of the women who come see us are highly addicted, and they know if they touch it that they're binging for a month.
Right.
You have to respect that you don't have the tools, and it could be like alcohol or drugs.
Right.
It could be. I just don't know until I evaluate.
Right.
But for the most part, when women learn our stuff, there's only been like 2 or 3 women in 20 years. It's like alcoholism for them. And I'm like, wow. But they also didn't work with me long enough for me to fix their gut. That is a bonus module.
Right.
They didn't let me fix their gut in module 6. We do gut repair. Okay. Because the bacteria in your gut affect cravings. They affect cravings. Ladies, if you're not going to the bathroom, or if you're going too much, or you bloat, 95% of women come. That is the first thing we fix. So please know your gut health and your cravings are related. They are related. And the other thing I just want to say, because I know we're getting sort of to the end. I just want to say, when you start seeing your cravings as an imbalance, all the guilt goes away. Cravings are an imbalance. It is what we teach in the method. So have it, no guilt, but just know there's more of an imbalance you did not fix. Right. So module 4 is living it. How do I live this on vacation? How do I live this under stress? How do I live this? I say it because there's a checklist of all the imbalances. Is it sleep? Did you not drink enough water? Did you eat too much sugar yesterday? Did you have a stressful situation? Did you skip a meal? Did you skip a meal yesterday? Did you eat it? And up to 3 days, I can go all day on this. 3 days later, And so we just run the checklist and you go, oh, it's that one. You fix it, you don't crave it anymore. It's so fun. So it's an imbalance. So get off your back, ladies, everyone who's listening. It's not your fault. It's an imbalance. We're just not taught that. We're taught, let's give in. No, you're imbalanced somewhere. So let's get you back in balance. And I'm telling you, we guarantee it. This is why I'm so excited about this membership coming, because it's just come hang out with us for as long as you want. It doesn't have to be my signature with our coaches. Do it yourself. And then I'm really giddy. Ask us for help. But anyway, it's this. It's an imbalance. And we go in and out of balance, imbalance. Oh, God, yeah. Balance. So if anyone says, oh, you're going to kick them for life, they're lying.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, I went off on my tangent, but
no, and there was a great tangent because I feel like so many people feel like the diet industry sets you up that after these X number of weeks, days, you're good. You never need me again. Where like you just mentioned, and what I always share with my clients, I'm like, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a tool, because there's always going to be something that throws you off the road, and you need to be able to know how to get back on the road as quickly as possible, because so easy to get like detoured, and you're driving through all these towns, always promising you how to get back on the road, and you're still further and further away.
It's wonderful.
And you need these, these 5 things. I can always go back and be like, okay, what do I want? How do I clarify? Like, what am I eating? Like, how do I tune it in? Like, so that it's
can
like,
I just add 5 so it's just
yeah,
complete for everyone? It's love it. And it's
yeah,
it's a life coaching piece. Okay. You do this last, but if you do
yeah,
not love your life, I know because I had it all handled and I
mm,
wasn't the method yet. And I was like, shit, weekends come.
yes,
On weekends, Jen. Why are you a wreck? And then come Monday, I'm back. And I was like, what is it? And I was
yeah,
like, it's the job. And that was before I quit the JDR app. And so my point is, it's a life coaching piece. I am more in love with my life than what I eat. I do like to
yes,
eat. I mean, I'm Italian, cento per cento, but I don't give a shit most days. I'm like, eat what I need to feel good. And then when we go out to dinner, sky's the limit. Oh, my girl at Shift, she's listening to this. She knows, Christina. She's like, I'm like, oh, those are pickled French fries. Bring it. And I'll be dipping them in whatever she made because it is made with love. We love her.
right,
Like, we just love her whole place. So, but 90% is clean. And it's because I love my life more than food. Love it.
right, exactly.
Gotta
And
love your life. You gotta love your life.
right. And I feel that, you know, that tune in piece, like when people get to there, a lot of their shit's going to come out. You know,
It
and
has to.
it's going to be more than eating a
Love
cupcake at
that.
a Super Bowl party. It's going to be more
Love that.
than, you know,
Love that.
having a candy bar, you know, because there's just going to be so much that
Love
comes
that,
up
Kim.
that I don't think people realize. Like, you know, everyone wants a meal plan.
But
Everyone
not to
wants,
scare them. It's not to
right.
be scared.
It's not
It comes up whatever you want it to come up. But
right,
when the sugar stops going down, my friends,
right.
what
But
you're really feeling comes up. Sugar
right.
stops going down, emotions come up.
And we have to kind of deal with, you know, I don't, we have to go deep and be like, when I was 5, like, no, you don't have to go that
No.
deep, but it could just be something like you just said, you know what, it was because I didn't like my job. Okay, great. Is there
What are we gonna
something,
do about it?
is there
Right.
something you can change about it? Can you go in and be like, you know, boss, I'm sick of you dumping shit on my lap at 5
Or this
p.m.
colleague, or can you move it to a
Right,
different,
right.
or you have to fire an employee if you're a
If you,
professional, and
right,
you have to change up how you. I just 100% agree. You gotta,
right.
yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
sometimes we have to like look at our current life, and sometimes
Well,
it's a
if you want
simple something thing.
permanency, you better do
Right.
it. In fact, I just did a reel about it on Instagram. I said, whatever you obsess about chases you until you stop. So if you're obsessed about your weight, well, you're just going to get more weight. You're obsessed about your debt, you're just going to get more debt. You're
Right.
obsessed about your health, you're just going to get more bad health. You're obsessed about your business growing, you're going to get more business growth. So
Right.
whatever you obsess about, you get more of. So I'm like, can we
I love
obsess
it.
about the good stuff?
Yeah, because we always obsess about the bad stuff. Because like, if for us it's easy, like,
Program that way.
you know,
Programmed.
as you talked about visualize, like, can you see yourself? What do you look like when you don't have? And I'm not saying the physical scale weight. I'm talking about just the weight of the bullshit that we like put in our backpacks of all the things that we think we have to care about.
Yes.
So when I close every podcast and I ask everyone this one question: what's one thing that makes you feel magical?
What a great question. That I know that I am the creator of my reality.
Ooh.
That if I do not like the movie that's playing in front of me, that I know all I got to do is change the film.
Wow.
And that's what's going on in the head. Well, I got an RV.
That is good.
I got in an RV to get to Flagstaff. We sold everything. We just left, and because we needed a new, another time, another episode, but just change the tape, my friends, and you get a new movie. And I have seen that over and over again. So.
That is really good.
Thanks, Kim.
That is really good. Well, Jenn, this has been absolutely fabulous. I'm so excited that your team reached out to me. This has just been great. And for those of you guys,
thank you.
Follow her. Where can we follow you on the socials?
Oh, I love that. So what's beautiful is the method simple, fun, and easy. It's everything about following me. I am Jenn Edden on Instagram. I am Jenn Edden on Facebook. I am Jenn Edden Sugar Addiction on Facebook, a business page. I'm LinkedIn, Jenn Edden. My website is jenneddencoaching.com. And you can download a free copy of my book in there, or you'll see my membership coming up soon, but yeah.
Here's an easy way to remember how to spell her name. She's got 2 N's and 2 D's. That's the easiest way to spell her name.
I love that. I say the Garden of Eden, which everyone knows how to spell. The Garden of Eden, 2 D's.
Yeah. So that's the easiest way to
Love
learn how to
that.
spell her
Jenn
name. So
Edden,
like
two
when I
N's,
was
two
typing it
D's.
today, I was like 2 N's, 2 D's, 2 N's, 2 D's. And that way I
Thank
know
you,
I can spell it
Jenn.
correctly.
Two
All right.
N's, two
It's been
D's.
such a pleasure. And Magic Makers, please follow her. And, you know, we unpack some stuff. So if this, you felt like a little triggered, because I know I was like, oh, I got some shit too. It was never meant to that. I always want you to just take a big pause and think, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I need to think. Sometimes I need that boulder to fall in front of my path.
Wow.
So enjoy the rest of your day, Magic Makers. And thank you so much again, Jenn, for your time.
You're so welcome. Thank you.